recently I found out that there will be a new GTA game, GTA 6 already, and I was like, yay! I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna play the whole weekend or whatever. And then I realized that actually I don't want to play it so much anymore. And then I realized that I actually used to have a legit gaming addiction. And now I don't. And so if you are struggling with any kind of addiction, I believe that my experience might be useful to you for beating your addiction. Because did you know that addiction is defined as not having control over doing or taking or using something to the point where it could be harmful to you? And as you know, this podcast is all about freedom. And freedom means having control. If you don't have control over what you do, well then you're not free. And so you are a slave. And depending on your values, maybe you want to be a slave, I don't know. Maybe you don't care, I don't know. But if you want to be free, if you want to have more freedom, then let's share our experiences, because this is very important, okay? So in my case, how I knew that I had addiction. And there is always a point in life when you're like, oh my God, this is not okay. And in my case, it was this. Once, I used to work in the afternoons. That meant that my mornings were free, okay? And so one morning, I get up, all family already went to like work and school, whatever. And then I have with the whole morning free. And I'm like, oh, I will just play a game. And at that time, I was playing, I think it was EU, Europa Universalis 3. If you like strategy games, stay away from EU. It's so good. It's, oh my God, it's one of the most amazing games ever. And it's so addictive. I remember first time when I played it, I was, oh my God, how to describe this feeling? I don't know, honestly, because I would wake up in the morning, and that was in the times when I didn't have a job. So you see, that's another important point. And so I remember this one day when I would get up in the morning, do my usual stuff, take shower, have breakfast, and then I'm like, what should I do today? Should I go somewhere? Nah, I don't feel like going anywhere. Okay, I will just play a little. And so then I would play this game until the evening, late evening of that day, I think 10 p.m. or so. Then I would go to bed having nightmares about the game. Then I would wake up in the morning, eat breakfast while playing game, and then I would play until about 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That is not healthy. And I don't think I even took a proper shower in that span of time. And so, but at that time I didn't realize that it was unhealthy, and at that time I didn't really care, you see. But my screw this moment came when, as I mentioned, in the morning before job, already when I had a job, I was like 27, I think. I would get up in the morning, I would start playing, and then I would not be able to stop it. So I know that I have to leave at, let's say, 1 p.m. And before that, I have to eat, right? So that could be 1 hour, so 12. And I still had to take shower in the morning, right? But I didn't take shower in the morning. And so then I'm like, no, I can do it fast. I can do it fast. I can do it fast. And so basically what happened was I had to eat, take shower, get ready to go out for work, in the span of like 20 minutes before having to go to work. I wasn't late, but that time I was like, you know what? I hate this. I have no control over my own life. And not only that, I realized that it was so much fun playing the game. I remember I was playing as, I don't remember, some country. I think I created Ukraine as a country. Like, I customized the map. This is a strategy game where you play for as a country. And so I created Ukraine, which, in reality it was much smaller, so I made it a bit bigger. And so I almost like conquered the world with it, and I was like, yay, this is amazing. And then when I finished playing and on my train to work, I'm like, what have I actually done in the real world? Yeah, of course, in the computer I conquered the world. There are no enemies that I can't beat. I'm the ruler of the universe, blah blah blah, whatever. But in this real world, I'm a half hungry, half dirty guy who wasted his morning. Is that the life I want for myself in the future? And the answer was no. And so I believe on the same day I deleted this game. So I really enjoyed it, but I deleted it, and I deleted all of the games. And so I was like, no, I'm done. Whatever I do with my life, even if it's boring, even if it's terrible, it can't be worse than that. Can't be worse than, losing my freedom. And so I believe this is what you need. And you can't manufacture this. I think you could actually, if you take a time and you think about it, and you sit down and think about what it's gonna cost you. Okay? If you keep doing this, whatever you're doing, I don't know, maybe it's gaming, social media. Some people struggle with porn. I don't know why, actually. Again, I don't understand. I'm not saying it is a bad thing. But I'm not disrespecting you. I know what you feel. I don't get it, why you like adult movies, but as somebody who as I told you, I struggle with games and strategy games in particular, you might be like, what? Who likes that kind of... You see, we are all different, but so I don't understand why you like that, but I understand you, okay? So don't worry, I'm not dissing you, okay? And so whatever you're struggling with, okay, you need to find what it will cost you. What is the real price? In my case, it was time, and it was, freedom, time and freedom. I lose my life because I spend my life, instead of actually living my life in this real world, I spend it, chasing whatever, pictures, items, pixels on the screen, right? And also, I also found that after playing games, I didn't want anything, because the real world would not match up to that greatness of the game. So of course it's easily explainable by dopamine, right? So the games, they kind of drain your dopamine, and the same with porn and everything, social media. Everything is based on the same physiological pattern of process, okay? So humans are naturally wired for this kind of motivation, right? And so the games, they're designed to be fun by using that system of our brain, the dopamine system, okay? Anyway, but what happens when you use all of this dopamine? You get exhausted, basically. You're like, oh, I don't want anything. And in my case, oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna tell you about this, but okay, since we're honest, let's do this. I made a rule for myself to never masturbate in the morning. Oh, I feel so embarrassed telling you. Like, if you could see my cheeks, they're blushing. But it's because I realized that if I do that in the morning, I don't want to do anything after that. And that's the same thing. So you see, I felt it in my body, and therefore I thought, you know what, I don't, this is dumb. Like, I really don't want to do anything in the afternoon. And so anyways, and the same with games. Actually, I made a rule for myself not to play games in the morning, because then I can't do anything in the afternoon. And so in my case, if I play games, sometimes I play in Minecraft, which is like not very interesting for me. Okay? And when I do that, I usually do it in the afternoon. And I usually set a timer for 30 minutes, because again, I found that if I, play longer than that, it takes too much effort to stop it. And usually I can't stop it easily, so that's my limit. Anyway, but here's the thing. So I'm not gonna, use the games as this kind of evil monster and social media's evil monster. Quite the opposite, actually. I believe that games can show you what you actually value in life. I will give you an example, okay? I used to play Civilization. I think it was Civilization 4, which was an immensely beautiful game for that time. And basically, you would have to research, explore new lands. You would have to build systems of different resources. Let's say you find iron there, and you find copper there, and you find something oil there, and you have to find these resources. You have to connect them, defend them, and then build your country. And I realized that actually I didn't really enjoy the, let's say, war. It was one of my least favorite parts of the game, where you have to fight another country to actually, why? To defeat them and win the game, okay? But what I really liked was A, exploration, and B, I liked the beauty of the game, the visuals, okay? And so then I was like, you know what? Now I understand what I actually need in life. Because here's the thing, every addiction is actually useful. It satisfied some kind of need in you. And sometimes we use games just as painkillers. In my case, definitely it was like that. When I was a teenager, I was depressed, and so the only kind of escape from my reality was games. So everything is horrible, then I play game, I feel not so bad. But games can also show you what you like. And so if you try the games, for example, or I don't know, maybe with social media it could also work, what you can see what you pay attention to. It means you need it in your life more. And so maybe you want, I don't know, you like, if you're a man, maybe you're looking at girls, okay, if it's social media. Well, then maybe you need a girlfriend. Or maybe you have some kind of unresolved issue. In my case, I was playing beautiful games with beautiful graphics, with mountains, and it's just, honestly, this is so ridiculous. I feel like a child, but it was. I still remember these pictures, which I can't describe in words. If you just look at Civilization 4 graphics, you will see that they are beautiful. The animations and details of everything are so fine and so beautiful. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm building my city in this beautiful jungle, and I'm gonna chop down the jungle. And I would imagine how people would spend their time on the beach, for example, with jungle somewhere to the side and farms and stuff like that. And so in my case, I realized that actually I wanted more beauty in my life. And what I realized is that I was trying to satisfy my need for beauty in life by playing games. That's very understandable. And so if you can understand that, then you can increase how much beauty you have in your life. You can do things that satisfy that need. You can go to beautiful places. You can see beautiful things. You can, well, I don't know, see beautiful people if you're into it, which I actually am in anyway. And so you can understand. Also, one more thing is I used to play the Transport Tycoon game. In the game, it's kind of obvious maybe, but you start your own transport company, and you basically need to make money by building railroads and roads and setting up airports and ships and stuff like that, transport. And so I really enjoyed when I would make some kind of rail, I would make some kind of system. So let's say there is a factory, it produces goods, right? And to produce goods, you need, no details, but let's say you need livestock or grain, okay? So you take the grain to the factory, from the factory you take the goods to the city, and then from the city you can take people to another city. And I was like, oh my god, this system, and it's beautiful, and wow, I would be so excited about that. But here's the thing, I used the same skills at my work, so that, let's say, the company I used to work at, I would develop systems for, let's say, teachers, how to organize teachers, how to tell them their schedule ahead of time, and it worked well, just like in a game. And so this is my point. Games are not 100% bad. In my case, I didn't play violent games. Actually, I used to play before as just like a stress release, but I don't know. I think Minecraft level of violence is enough. I don't see why you need more than that. If you know, there was a game, Carmageddon, where you had to race crazy cars and smash into zombies, and that was a lot of fun, actually. Now I want to play. But anyway, so those kinds of games, I think they do have some kind of space in life, but personally I didn't need that in my life. And right now I sometimes play Minecraft because it lets you do many things, like building your house or exploration or even fighting. You can go fight some monsters, you can fight dangerous monsters, you can fight not so dangerous monsters. So that's a lot of fun. It kind of covers a lot of bases, and it's quite beautiful as well. So that's why, for me, I understand it now, though. You see, I'm not blindly addicted to it. One part is because I have those things in my life. Of course, I don't fight zombies, but I have beauty in my life, and I know how to get beauty, and so I don't need to get it so much from, let's say, Minecraft. But at least I know it, right? And so in your case, you just need to know how to do that, right? How to get what you really need, not from the game, but from the real world. And then you need the screw this moment. You need to either make it or just wait for it. Just indulge in your addiction to the point, like, of course, as long as this is not physically dangerous, as long as you don't die. But I mean, like social media or gaming, spend a whole day on social media and then ask yourself, how do I feel? If you feel great after that, well, then it's working out perfectly. If you, let's say, make money on it, well, then maybe it's okay too. I don't know. It's your choice. But in my case, I would play a game and I would feel like shit after that, and that's why I stopped. And actually, this is same story with social media. I'm almost off social media, so I am a producer, if you want to call me that, but I try to stay away from social media as a consumer. Why? It's because of the same principle. Social media is basically geared towards having you spend more time there. How to do that? Make you addicted. How to make you addicted? Give you dopamine, right? That's why you don't see these kind of long reads on social media. You just scroll, and it's something new, and you don't know what's gonna be down there, right? And so because you don't know, that's the same as exploration part that I was addicted to. You're like, oh, what's gonna happen down there when I scroll? And you don't know it, so that's why your dopamine is firing, and you're like, yeah, I want to see more. And I remember once I spent like 2 hours watching YouTube shorts, and I was like, this has to stop. I cannot do this. If you cannot do this every day, you should not do this. Okay? And so in my case, I just stopped doing that. I even deleted my YouTube account from my phone. So now I have it on my computer. And here's the funny thing. On a computer, I feel much easier to control myself. I don't know why, but I don't think I've ever had any shorts binge on my computer. Maybe once or twice, but very shorts binge. That sounds ridiculous. But anyways, this is my point. Stop using your phone. That's an easy one. Just delete your app from your phone. You can still use your computer, but maybe use the thing that's less convenient. Also, I have a phone with a square screen. And what happens is basically the square screen doesn't work so well with most of the social media apps. And because it's not, the apps are not designed for square screens, it completely messes up your kind of user experience. And because it messes up your user experience, you are not so addicted to it. You don't get so addicted. There are other apps like the apps that decrease the gamma, basically the color. They remove the color from your phone, for example. And so then you basically watch everything in black and white. But that's a great thing. You don't overload your body. And so, this is how I managed to weed myself off games and social media. And one more thing is mindfulness. Again, I hate this word, but basically what it means is ask yourself how you're feeling at the moment. Okay? So for example, as you're using social media, stop for a second and ask yourself, how am I feeling now? And maybe you feel great. That's fine. Just be honest with yourself. Oh, I feel great. This is exciting. Fine. No problem. Then when you finish it, then ask yourself, how am I feeling now? And then again, if you feel great, fine. It's not an addiction. It's something useful. If you feel like shit, then you're like, oh, okay. After that, I feel like shit. Okay, let's try it next day. Again, when you're using, ask yourself, how am I feeling? You feel, yay, great, amazing. After using, ask yourself, oh, I feel like crap. Okay, maybe there is a pattern there, right? So then you start thinking, and then you can stop using it because you remember now that after this you will feel like crap. And so you will be like, you know what? I feel good now, but I will feel shit later. And so that feeling of shit later actually extends much longer than me using the social media, and so I should not use it at all. And naturally you will stop wanting to do that. Okay? So that's the mindfulness part of it. Yes, so in my case, after I stopped social media, I feel much better, I feel less stress, and I have more time, and I have more control over my choices. So for me, it's great. How about you? What about your experience with, I don't know, games, social media, any other addictions? Let us know how you managed to maybe stop it, or maybe you haven't. What do you struggle with? And let me know what you think. And I will see you next time.